Borla S-Type here is a personal favorite of mine for the 2015 through 2017 GTs and should appeal to the 5-liter owners out there who prefer a decent amount of bark overall, but don't necessarily need the loudest system on the block. Now, in typical Borla fashion, this S-Type will deliver that premium 304 grade stainless steel throughout, in addition to the polished tips here for just north of $1,200. The install will be a bolt-on job, meaning no cutting, no permanent modification, so the site will kick it up to a soft 2 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, but hang out towards the end of this video and we'll show you how to get it in place. So ever since I can remember, Borla has been a very popular choice in the automotive aftermarket because obviously their quality is exceptional, but more importantly, the sound they produce absolutely rocks. And with Borla, you do have a couple of different flavors here when it comes to both volume and tone. First up, you have the touring system, which will be the tamest of the 3 options and will be for those 5-liter owners who want just a little bit more volume when compared to the factory system. Now, the S-Type that we have here will be the middle of the road option, and we'll discuss more on that in a minute. And then finally, there is the Attack, which will always be one of the category screamers in regards to overall volume. So again, as I briefly pointed out earlier, the S-Type is a personal favorite of mine because I feel like it delivers just the right amount of volume, but at the same time maintains a nice deep thumping tone overall, which isn't always easy to achieve with the Raspy Coyote. And on the topic of volume, let's whip out our highly scientific Wake the Neighbor scale. And honestly, the S-Type, for being a middle of the road option, is still gonna pump out a good amount of volume. So therefore, I did go 4 out of 5 on my 1 to 5 or 1 to Wake the Neighbor scale. Now, the Attack will certainly be louder at the end of the day, but the S-Type here is no slouch. And for owners who might be concerned with any interior noise or drone, well, you shouldn't have any concern as there is absolutely zero drone here with the S-Type in place. But shaping the sound of this particular catback, of course, we have the S-Type muffler here, which is working with the included X-Pipe to help keep volume up, but at the same time maintains a deep tone overall. Now sure, there is a hint of rasp with this system, but not nearly as much as some other options out there like the Attack, also from Borla of course, in addition to the Corsa Extreme. And again, that is one of the big things I really enjoy about this system. But now that we've covered the sound, what do you say we get into the build and quality with the S-Type? And if you've been a fan of Borla or if you've owned a Borla system in the past, you kind of know where this is going, right? Premium build quality, premium materials, just a killer exhaust from tip to tip. And of course that means the premium grade T304 stainless steel throughout here, guys, including the 2.5-inch mandrel bent tubing leading into and out of that X-Pipe before entering those S-Type mufflers. And then finally, guys, everything is going to exit out the 4-inch tips here embossed with that Borla logo. Quick heads up, as always, you can always grab this system here with a black tip instead if you'd like. Just keep in mind that will cost you a few more bucks. But as promised, what do you say we get into the installation? And again, to give you a better idea of what you're in for, here is a detailed walkthrough along with a tool breakdown.
Tools required for this install: exhaust hanger removal tool, 3/8-inch ratchet, various extensions, 15mm socket, 13mm socket, optional but very helpful, 3/8-inch impact, 3/8 air ratchet.
All right, today we're gonna be installing the Borla Stinger S-Type catback exhaust. Let's get started. All right, now we're gonna be removing our factory clamps from the resonator back, and I'm gonna be using a 15mm socket. All right, now we're gonna work on our factory hangers. They are a 13mm bolt. And you can let these hang. They do have a little retainer right here. All right, now we're gonna work on our rear hangers. It's a 13mm back here as well. And then you're gonna repeat this on the passenger side. All right, now with a buddy, you just simply lift up on those hangers. And remove the exhaust. All right, now we are going to be removing our factory hangers. I shot them with a little bit of PB Blaster to help this. All right, now we're going to be removing our factory clamps to reuse these. All right, now we're going to be reinstalling our factory clamps. Bringing our new X-pipe into place. And we're not going to tighten down these just yet. All right, now we're ready to go onto the mid-pipe. Here we're going to be using our factory hanger. Just slip that on. And then you're going to want to slip on one of these C-plied clamps. And I'm going to start from back here and go forward. And we're going to get our other pipe and do the same thing. All right, so it's the same process on the passenger side. Make sure you put your nut on the outside so it's easy to get to. All right, as you can see that these pipes are labeled very clearly. Again, I'm going to be sliding my new clamp over and putting our new muffler into place. First with the hanger, and then with the exhaust itself. You just slide your clamp into place. All right, moving on to the passenger side. Start by putting on our bracket. All right, now that we're back up front, we're going to start tightening up our clamps. All right, now we're holding onto the back side. I'm going to tighten up this clamp just to make sure that I have the right clearance and spacings. Now we're going to be doing the same on the passenger side. All right, now moving on to our clamps for the muffler and the mid-pipe. And now we're going to move on to our hangers and putting these 13mm bolts back in. All right, then we're moving on to the back to the 2 bolts that hold on the rear hanger. And then you repeat this on the passenger side as well. All right, that's going to wrap up my install of the Borla Stinger S-Type catback exhaust. You can get yours right here at AmericanMuscle.com.